Part 2 of why you should never listen to anyone unless it's like sound advice. But I'm talking about like your passion, your dreams, your hopes, your wants, your wishes. You should never listen to anyone except yourself. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you exactly why. I'm going to give you a real life experience. Okay, so if you watched the last episode, you know that I love coffee. And you also know that I was once on an incredible label known as Def Jam, the most iconic hip-hop label in the world, in my humble opinion. And let's just say things didn't go as planned. And I had to take my life into my own hands. I'm giving you some real life examples here. These are true experiences that I've been through as a successful recording artist. MTV Video Music Award-winning, platinum-selling recording artist, CEO of InVoyager Records. This brings me to my next point. Why you should never listen to anyone. So I left Def Jam, right? I walked away from one of the greatest things that ever happened to me. There was some nice money attached to the advance initially. It was incredible. Signing to an iconic label like that overnight, all this money shows up and you think everything is going to change. You think your life will forever be different. Well, it was, and everything did change. And like I said previously, I have zero regrets about that contract. I have zero regrets about signing that paperwork because it led me to so many incredible lessons. I came to learn so much, and it taught me how to be the businessman I am today. So when I left Voyager Records, pardon me, one, it's not Voyager Records. Two, I didn't leave there. I left Def Jam. I left Def Jam to take back my confidence, to take back my life, to take back my freedom, to take back my ownership and my integrity. And when I left, I had this project called More Success. It was a hip-hop album that I produced entirely on the MPC. And I was going to give Def Jam a hip-hop album, what they wanted, because clearly they didn't want the DLH LP, which was singer-songwriter R&B. They didn't know what to do with that eccentric singing, rapping music producer. They didn't know what box to put me in, which kind of started some of the problems. But anyways, it's a lesson, right? I left Def Jam with More Success in my hand. And I said, you know what? I'm going to put More Success out on my own label. Now this is the key part. This is the key takeaway to this video. Why you should never listen to anyone. Well, I told my wife, I said, wife, I'm going to start a company. She said, what? You're going to start what? I said, wife, I'm going to start a company. She said, why? Why would you do such a thing? You don't know what you're doing. Don't do it. Slow down. Stop. That would have been the mistake. This was years ago. This was 2022. Post New World. And I am still addicted to coffee. I was addicted to coffee then. I'm addicted to coffee now. You like coffee? You want to know where you can find this? Hit the link in the description. I'll sell you this product. It's not that expensive. It's not that expensive. You can grind your own beans. You can put your own ground coffee in there. Or you can put powder in there. I don't care what you put in there. Just put it on top and pour it over. And this bad boy can live on the stove. But we're not talking about coffee today. If you like coffee, there's a link in the description for that. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about me not listening to my wife. Gentlemen, some of you out there probably should listen to your wife. And my wife often gives sound advice. Often. But she was wrong when she tried to slow me down from making the greatest label of all time. How do I know it's the greatest label of all time? Because it's my label. If you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you? I've already released several projects on this album. Most recently, I put out Mr. Machine on InVoyager Records. See? And now I'm bringing on other artists. I got interns. The company is growing. And check this out, Def Jam. At one point, Def Jam was just starting. At one point, Def Jam was just some idea that came from some kid's brain who said, you know what? I want to do this music thing, and I want to change the world. And because I had this crazy idea about being an entrepreneur, because I had this crazy idea about creating a company, I have protected myself in so many ways. I have started an empire, a dynasty that not only doubles as a record company to which I am producing music on my MPC, on my Akai Force, full bands, singer-songwriters, you name it. I'm doing that. But at the same time, InVoyager Records doubles as a production company. And Voyager records productions. We record productions. I am a recording artist. I record music. I document photography. I create documentaries, short films, social media content. Social media expert at this point, I'd like to think so. YouTube. We're here messing with you now, and we're going all in on you. But that's not the point of this video. We'll talk more about YouTube and all that stuff later. The point of this video is to tell you, to remind you, you have to create the biggest dream in your mind. And you can't let anybody stop you from doing it. Don't let nobody stop you from doing it. I'm telling you, you need to think big. You need to think like I'm gonna touch the moon big, like I'm going to Mars big, like you know who big. Because it's these big ideas that create incredible situations. Thank God I created InVoyager Records. Thank God I did not listen to my wife. She tried to stop me from doing this. She said I didn't know what I was doing. She said I didn't know anything about business. She said I didn't know anything about creating a company. But I went down to the county of Los Angeles and I said, County, I'm going to make a business. I'm going to protect myself. I'm going to make a sole proprietorship with my name attached. But no, it's not my name. It is what is inside of my name. It is what is inside of you. We are all Voyagers on the inside. And it's the art that we must put out. It comes from the inside, see? We see art. They see envy. I'm going to say that one more time for all the people in the back. It is not cold in here, but I'm going to say it one more time for all the people in the back. We see art. They see envy. InVoyager Records, you should never listen to anyone except that inner voice inside, that Holy Spirit, that holy angel, God, the universe, your consciousness, whatever you want to call it, Buddha, Lord Shiva, David, Jesus, whatever you want to call it, listen to the inside from here. Everybody out here, they think they know what's going on. They think they know how to do it, but they don't know. Nobody knows how to do it. We all just act like we know how to do it, and eventually things happen. So you better start acting like you know how to do it, and you better start acting like you don't care what other people think. You're not going to listen to people. Well, hey, if your mom says, hey, don't run out in the street, a bus can hit you, that's one thing. There is some form of sound advice, but once again, I'm talking about your passions. I'm talking about your dreams. This is a 10-minute rant on why you should never listen to anyone. This is the second part of this rant. There's another part to it too. And we're going to end this part of this rant with an amazing sip of coffee. And I promise you I'm coming back, YouTube. I promise you this is not done. I promise you you're just starting to see the real magic that's clicking on in my head. I got so many ideas, big ideas, grand ideas, Grammy ideas, Tony ideas, Oscar ideas, and nobody's gonna stop me. Nobody's gonna try and slow me down. Nobody's gonna tell me that I can't do it. I can do anything. I'm an expert photographer. I'm an expert editor. I'm an expert cinematographer. You can be that too if you stop listening to people. You can create a massive following if you just stop listening to people, if you just stop caring what people think about you, and if you just stop caring about what direction you think people should be pushing you in. Nobody knows what direction you should be pushing yourself in except you. So just do it. Just commit to it and just do it. You get one life. There's 24 hours in a day, and the clock is ticking, ladies and gentlemen. The clock is ticking. And there's somebody out there right now with that same idea you got in your head, and they're working even harder than you. They're working harder than you. They're working faster than you. They're working smarter than you. So what are you going to do? Are you going to get out there and figure it out? Or are you just going to let this opportunity just garnish, just vanish? Are you going to let that dream in your head just disappear? Or are you going to realize with one camera, you can change the world? With one iPhone, you can change the world. You don't need a DJI Osmo Pocket 3. You don't need a Sony A7 IV. You don't need the DJI Mic Mini. But if you do want it, check out my last video, a couple videos ago, because I left a link in that. You don't need this incredible coffee maker that sits on the stove and you can dishwash. You don't need it. You can just make coffee. You can just go to Starbucks and blow your money on the poison that they put in their plastic cups. Or you could not listen to me and you could do what you want to do. I'm not saying go out there and buy a boat and spend your life savings. I'm saying figure it out, what it is you want to do with your life, and do it. And don't let anybody stop you from doing it. I mean nobody, not your mom, not your dad, not your uncle, not your sister, not your brother, not your cousin, not your aunt, not your high school friends, not your middle school friends. Nobody, not your college friends, not your workers that you work with right now in your office, because everybody's working in that office right now 9 to 5 and they're going crazy because they're working for somebody else. You can be working for you. You can create your own company. You can write that script. You can film that movie with an iPhone. Do whatever you got to do and do what you got to do with what you got. That could be a t-shirt. Stop consuming and create. I got a million of them. Check out my website, DamianLHudson.com. That's the lesson, ladies and gentlemen. Don't listen to anybody else except yourself. Woo! I ain't even had no coffee yet. We ain't even getting going yet. This is sober Damian right now. No coffee, no sleep, no alcohol, no nothing. This is just the blood pulsing through my mind because I am obsessed with this idea of art, visual art, recording arts. I went to a performing arts school. They should have a school that's recording arts. That's the future, right? I'm pumped. I'm obsessed over YouTube. You watching this. YouTube. I'm obsessed. And I'm not going to stop. I'm doing this every day. One short a day, one video a day. At least for 10 days. And let's see what happens. At least. I'm going to have this coffee now. And my energy is probably going to go from about right here to about right there. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what happens back there in that studio when I'm caffeinated? Do you hear me right now? You're still watching this. You need to take some notes out of this video. You need to understand that the algorithm sent you this video, Locky, not because you're lucky, but because you're lucky. And because there's an opportunity here for you. There's an opportunity here for you to learn something, to get inspired. I just want to inspire you. I just want to motivate you. I just want to inspire my wife. I just want to motivate her. But sometimes she tells me not to do things. That's okay. Hit the subscribe button if you want. It's right here, okay? hit this button down here if you want to watch more of these rants. And if you want to get back to the music, check out my music videos. Mr. Machine just came out. Shout out Locked In. Shout out the boys. We can get into that. What are we going to talk about tomorrow? Locked In? Should we talk about how the band was created? Maybe so. Until then, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think. Tell me if this inspires you. I love you. Go forth, Voyager. Be the best version of yourself. And do not listen to anybody else. Peace and love.